I really wish I had a Mr. Robot mustache.
Ruffian.
And I'd be like, boy, that Glenn Miller. He's fantastic.
Oh,
Hello, Tom.
Dana, what is going on?
Not much. I have been sweating everything I could sweat off this morning and this afternoon working outside. Not cool.
Were were you sweating to the 80s?
We're
That's
sweating
that
to
is
the
the most
oldies.
it's the most important question. Was Richard Simmons there with you in spirit, keeping
No,
you
because if
going?
he were, I would have put a weed eater in his hand and him and his striped shorts would have been frolicking about getting some work
Stop,
done. I have no doubt
stop,
about that.
stop doing stretches, Richard, and help weed the lawn.
I didn't do any stretches. I don't need to work. I don't need to walk tomorrow. Well, thanks for joining on another edition of Two Guys Talking Men with Short Shorts.
Indeed, two guys talking about Richard Simmons,
Yeah.
which is not that
Rest in
uncommon a thing,
peace.
apparently.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Richard. He was the best of us.
He really was. I don't think he ever had a bad day.
I
I
don't
mean, I'm
think
sure he
so.
did because,
You can't
he
be
had
helped.
things. Yeah. Well, people ruined his day most of the time, but he seemed pretty good spirits about it.
People are just the worst. And that's why we're
Yeah,
here to talk about toys.
that's right.
Because, and we're also going to talk real quick about San Diego Comic Con because that's going on and that's been happening since the middle of last week. And every single year when San Diego Comic Con is happening and I read all the coverage and I'm looking at all the toy shots, I say to myself, next year I'm
I
going.
One year,
I'm
I don't have to go to New York Comic Con. Like, I'll probably go again, but I don't have to go to New York Comic Con again. I've been 3 or 4 times, but San Diego Comic Con, I'd like to go.
I want to go and I see it and I think to myself, man, all those toys. Like I want to see all those toys in person. And then I just keep looking through the images and I start to think to myself, holy cow, look at all those people. There's so many people. The exclusives. Do I stand in line with all those people to try to get those exclusives? This that that's a
It's
quite
an
the
endeavor.
investment. Yeah,
It
it's quite
is.
the
It is
investment to go. It is an
because
endeavor to get there and to hole up. But it is an experience. I feel like it's almost like a bucket list experience
I
to
agree.
have to be able to get to go. And have you seen some of the reveals that have been happening?
Just some of the ones you shared with me. To be honest, it's been a
There's
heck of a week. Yeah, but I haven't. I've seen the ones, and I was salivating over that Pythona.
man, yeah, there is some wild stuff. So yeah, like Pythona, but it's going to be happening, which is an excuse to go to New York Comic Cons. I think she's going to be an exclusive there, and I think for maybe one other convention, and then they're going to sell the leftovers on their website, whatever may happen to be left over.
There won't be
Her
any.
those weird, super duper weird ghost cobra viper things that at first I thought were Crystal Ball, and I was like, are they re-releasing Crystal Ball as not a Walmart exclusive? But they're just like troop builder guys, and you get a cool ghost wolf, and you get a cool ghost wolf head and a ghost viper, like
Right.
actual snake head. I don't know if they glow in the dark. Man, those need
They
to glow in
should.
the
I hope
dark.
they do. They look like they should. So,
They should glow in the dark, and I need like five of them because
of
man, do
course
those
you
look
do.
so good. And of course, we get because Ninja Turtles will cross over with everything
Yeah,
before their time is done.
these are
The
just straight up
the
wacky.
the Godzilla Ninja Turtle crossovers
Yeah.
look amazing. Where it's Raphael crossed with Rodan and Leonardo crossed with Godzilla,
So
Michelangelo with Ghidorah, which is kind of an odd choice, but
here's my
I'll take it.
question. Yeah, that was an odd choice. I thought for sure like King Ghidorah would have been like Shredder.
Shredder, yeah.
Um, and it's an odd choice, but here's my question. Now, are they supposed to be Ninja Turtle size or are they kaiju size?
That's a good question. I mean, the figures themselves are going to be deluxes, so I gotta think that it's maybe the Ninja Turtles themselves have kaiju genes spliced into them. Uh,
Yeah.
I know that everyone was screaming for Donatello to be Mechagodzilla, but he's Jet Jaguar. There's art that has surfaced of him as Jet
Oh,
Jaguar,
okay.
which is cool. Maybe
Yeah, that's cool.
I hope that this go. the designs are a little weird. I do kind of wish that they were, I don't know, maybe pushed a little further, but the concept is fantastic. And I want to see a few waves of this. Like I hope it's not just those and then done.
Right.
I would like to see more. Yeah, the obvious choice is April and Mothra, but give me,
Right.
yeah, like do Shredder and any other version of Ghidorah, or Shredder
I
with
would have liked
Gigan claws would
Shredder
look really
as
cool.
Jaguar would have been a cool Shredder thing too.
Mhm.
But you're right. The I would have liked them see the push the envelope a little more in the Godzilla direction because they
Yeah.
look like Ninja Turtles in costume
Yes.
as opposed yeah, I mean it looks like they're going to a costume party as opposed to actually being those kaiju monsters because I
Yeah.
would have liked like you said a little more monstery.
Yeah, just a little bit more. But it looks like they got a little bit more freedom to push the designs than like the Transformers crossover, which just still makes me sad. Uh,
Right.
but there is crossovers. Like this is like it's as if toy companies went back in time and found 2002 version of Tom and said, What would you
Was that your
like?"
best? Was that Tom at
That
his best in
I
2002?
was look, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little ahead of my time and made people very confused when I was saying things like, "We need a series which is RoboForce versus Inhumanoids," and I think that that would be an interesting thing to do.
Right.
Also, we should cross over. I don't know, Care Bears with Smurfs, because why wouldn't that happen? I wanted to cross everything over. I wanted to revamp series, and I
Care
wanted to cross
Bears.
things over.
Care Bears, they're still bears wandering through the woods. I feel like they would
100%.
have, I think they would have eaten the Smurfs.
I think they just would have been confused by them.
Hmm.
I think they would have been. They would have thought they were strange. But there's so many crossover things that are happening, and I am delighted. Uh, if not maybe a little disappointed with the, I want to say, maybe corporate style output on some of them. He-Man Transformers crossover is happening. Is a thing that's happening. So we got to see
That's
Man at
weird.
Arms. Yeah, we got but it's weird. It's Man at Arms wearing Bumblebee armor. So I was like, so did they kill the Transformers and use them for armor? Did they
He's trying to
see
be
them when
Buzz
they were
Off. He's trying to be
inspired?
Buzz Off.
I mean, it's just weird because Man at Arms, if like, if when you at first glance, if you look at a random catalog of Transformers and you look at a random catalog of He-Man characters, Man at Arms looks like Brawn.
Right.
Helmet,
Hmm.
colors, like, why is that not your crossover? Skeletor's crossover with Megatron, of course.
Of course.
And I get that the corporate spreadsheets say Bumblebee is the guy to use, but why? I don't know. I was just hoping for something a little better, a little bit more.
Yeah.
Push it a
Yeah.
little
But,
more.
they have their, like you said, they have their lineup of characters that they know people want to see. And it's not
I
made for aficionados like you. It's made for the broad spectrum. Speaking of your, documented sublime taste in toys, Tom, did you get anything this week?
I did. So while I was kind of poking around, this is a mega weekend for toys, reveals and things coming in and out of stock, and the reveal of the new version of the Serpent Lair for for
Oh,
He-Man,
yes.
and then again, which looks amazing, and I
Mhm.
love it. Uh, but things were coming in and out of stock all of a sudden. Like pre-orders were going up for stuff, and while I was kind of bouncing around with all of that, I noticed on Best Buy, uh, this will also double as a thing that I
I,
have not opened.
I
On
never
Best,
think of Best Buy. You always say, let's stop in
it's
Best Buy and take it when we're at that Target. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot. Best Buy
yeah,
has toys.
it's such a strange. It's almost like when GameStop started to get. GameStop always kind of carried collectibles, but there's a period of time where they really like the brick and mortar versions of them really started to carry a lot of collectible stuff.
More
Uh,
so than games.
yeah, and then Best
Well, it's
Buy
in the
kind of
title.
jumped in on it.
Games, stop. Just order toys.
That's it. Just only games, and we'll only give you maybe 1% of what you just paid for that game. If you want to trade that in, if you don't have any patience, and you don't have a brother-in-law who's willing to sell that on eBay and get you a better price for it,
There you
go
go.
to GameStop by all means. But yeah, it was weird seeing Best Buy kind of get in on the action figure. market, and they still have just random. You can go on and you'll find like random waves of Marvel Legends that I wouldn't think would be up there. Like you can go in and you can go up there right now and get Maximum Hulk, which is weird. I got
Wow.
my Selects Triptychon from them.
No
Uh,
kidding. Wow.
Open box, cheaper, had all of its parts, so I was really excited. And then they're the first ones to clearance stuff out if it's been sitting there for a while. I know sometime last week they had a whole bunch of the McFarlane stuff and NECA stuff on massive clearance. So you could
Hmm.
get the I think we mentioned it, you could get the that Gargoyles 2-pack of Demona and Goliath
Right. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
had dipped down to like a quarter of the price. And even then I was like, no thanks.
Yeah. Still not gonna buy it, but it's cool that it's that cheap.
Yeah, and a lot of the NECA stuff dipped down to whatever. But every now and then they'll get stuff that you just don't normally. Oh, well, this sucks. So,
Wait, 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 wait. Are you talking about this podcast or are you talking about I'm a little
well,
offended.
well, all right. So we just spent all this time gassing up Best Buy, and I'm gonna have to take a whole bunch of that back because on their website they claim that Alchemist Prime had come into stock. So I was like, oh, cool, Alchemist Prime. I kind of want him. So I
Right.
so I ordered him, and he was supposed to be shipped to my home, and instead they sent me Solus Prime, and that is a magical magician act. Uh,
Well, apparently so, because he vanished twice while you were showing it.
yeah, this is for the record not Alchemist Prime. This is Solus Prime. So I have to figure out how to return this because I don't want this. I already have Solus Prime, and she's great, but I already have her, and that's not what I wanted.
Okay,
So,
so let's forget the last 3 minutes of dialogue about how great Best Buy. It's the
yeah.
worst buy.
So
Worst
the
buy.
where's yes, very much the opposite of the best. So you heard it here, you heard it live, folks. Best Buy sucks, but you know what doesn't suck?
Best Buy's become your new Target, your new Walmart.
Man, me and Best Buy are not friends right now. We are
And Big Daddy Target's laughing right now, and he's like,
big.
"Yes."
He's like, I sent you all those Studio Series 2-packs based on Devastation. Are we friends now? Are we good? I sent you what you ordered.
And you're
Who
like,
didn't send you
"Yes,
what you ordered? Best Buy. That's who.
yes, sir, Big Daddy Target. We're back to
They
being
sent
friends again." Yes.
they sent you a thing that you didn't ask for. Which is and it's just funny to me because on the like this says ship to home and it actually says what it's supposed to be. It says Transformers Alchemist Prime. And then right here, right here on the box, it says Solus Prime. So
Right.
Best Buy also does not have good reading. Not a
Well,
lot, not a lot of good reading
people
that happens there.
people may need glasses. You never know.
They sure do, and I guess you can't get those at Best Buy. But you know what's better than Best Buy? Someone who sells things on eBay who is actually reliable and sends me the things that I am looking for because my mini quest to reacquire my Laser Beast collection continues,
All
and it
right.
continues with this little
Let's hear it,
guy.
Percival.
This little guy, Brain Mouse. If he can, oh man,
Uh,
get him to
great. Oh,
continue to
he's
show up.
cool. He's cool.
Yeah, he's very neat. He's just a smart mouse guy who's got a laser
Why
arm
is why
for a.
is why is our production quality going down as we continue in these?
You'd think things would be improving, and they very much are not. So
Our
here's
budget, our budget has been cut, loyal listeners. We have no production budget at all anymore.
also this little guy, and his name is Anarchy, which I think is
Is
hilarious
he
because
an anteater?
he's a little mole. He's a little mole named Anarchy. Now, the funny thing about this guy, and it was
Huh.
even listed in the preview. So the thing with the laser beast is that instead of the typical battle beast setup, instead of the square in the chest, they have
So
the laser
circle.
orb,
Mhm.
and you can look. I can't do it here, but you can look through it and you can see a little element. So he's this one. Brain Mouse is
That's neat.
fire,
I always thought that was neat.
but Anarchy, this particular one, has nothing. There's no there's no element, and then
Oh, that makes sense. Does that
and
mean
even
because he's anarchy that he's not aligned with anyone?
no, it means that something weird went on with the production of this
Oh,
figure.
yeah, here
Um,
I am reading into it.
the
I like my
the
definition better.
I mean, if that works for like the headcanon, then absolutely. But even the auction had said, has no symbol, and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. He was even priced a little bit lower. So my thought was, did they pop the marble out and pop a new one in? But when I got it, there's no indication that anything has been done to this, which
Huh.
means that it's just a weird variant. It's probably a one-off.
It
Maybe
doesn't.
something
There's no
went.
way that it got turned in there. Like
No.
weird.
Nope. I thought maybe it had twisted, so it was lined up. No,
Yeah.
no matter the angle I hold it on, there's nothing in there. It's just straight through.
Wow.
So this is a weird blank, and I don't know how the symbol was attached. I don't know if these are if the orbs are in half, and then they would press them together after the symbol was added.
Mhm.
There's nothing. There's nothing going on there, and I love this though. It's just a
Yeah, that's
weird little
cool.
quirky. I'm gonna have to get another one that actually does have an element, but I love that it's just this weird little quirky. He just doesn't have it. It makes it an interesting variant. It's not a running thing. It's just maybe a random one-off. And I don't know if there are any other laser beats like this out there. I'm sure there
Hmm.
are, but I've never seen one. So
Or
this is
other characters.
yeah. So this is cool. This one also came with his gun. That's the other. That's
Oh,
the other
neat.
half of the collecting thing that's going to have to. Like I would rather have the figures. I value the figures more than the guns themselves.
Right, right,
But
right.
eventually, I'm gonna have to go back and see if I can get hold of the guns. And as you go up in the numbers, as you get towards the later releases, oh boy. So, but so these were a fun get as opposed to the Best Buy not get.
Right.
So what have you found? You
Well,
will definitely have had better luck than I did.
right. Well, because you can't go wrong when your friends from Sesame Street drop by.
They tell you
Uh,
how to get everywhere.
they do. And we have
Hey! Holy cow, that's a big old Arnie. Is that the NECA version?
that's the NECA one, yeah. And we have Bert too, of course.
Holy, you have to start. I want you to pose them with Street Fighter figures.
Or
Those
Sesame
are
Street
some
Fighters.
Sesame Street Fighter. Have Bert just pile driving Guile.
Right, with
That would
his
be
like
amazing.
I want to see him like rip off the unibrow and it turns into a whip like
Amazing.
like
Super
that could be
move.
dangerous.
He's got the
I,
brow whip. He's got a hidden towel that he can use.
yeah.
And when he
And
tags in, like Ernie as a support, he could be like Ernie, and then Ernie jumps in to help him out. I love this.
I love the detail even in like his shoes. He's got his little
Wow.
saddle shoes on.
Good job,
Ernie's
NECA.
got his Chuck D's on.
I
Very
like that they
cool.
even look a little bit scuffed up. Like, is there detailed wear on them?
Yeah, yeah, it's very well done. They look
That's
like he's been running around playing hopscotch and doing whatever you do out on the
that's great.
streets, raised on the streets. And of course, Rubber Ducky,
Means
you're
it's-
the
Is
one.
is it
Yes,
now, is that squishable or is it solid plastic?
it's solid plastic. If it was squishable,
Oh, that's
that would have been
that's
awesome.
a little
But they
unfortunate because
come
they
with an
make them that
array.
size.
They come with an array of things. His hands fall out, but he's got extra hands
Oh, okay.
and the extra head where he's all
Mhm.
smiley, and of course his painted portrait of he and Bert, the best roommates
He
ever.
couldn't bribe them to make Bert look a little happy in that
No,
picture.
he's very
Does Bert
stoic,
does
and he
Bert come
comes
with
with the
bottle?
and this one's brought to you by the letter C.
You think they would reserve that for Cookie Monster?
You would, and then Bert comes with a whole variety of his bottle cap
He's
collection,
just getting ready to ask if he comes with his bottle caps. That's
his paper
awesome.
clips, his
That's
book,
fantastic. I love it.
pigeon, and
And
that's brought to you by the letter A.
the letter A.
And I have Count Von Count somewhere. But these guys are awesome and I love them and I can't wait. I still have my Fraggles are in storage from when I
Mhm.
moved, but I can't wait to find a spot to pose these, the Sesame
Yeah.
Street and the Fraggles and get some of the
Mhm.
Muppet guys. And really just going to be just so much fun to have these guys around. I have Count Von
Those do look
Count
really
too.
good in hand.
They are fantastic. Hey, Bert.
I'm impressed by the size.
Yeah, I mean
Like I've seen them on
they're
the shelf,
NECA.
but like seeing them next to each other and then like near
Right.
other figures
They're as
puts them
big as
into a
my
better
face.
perspective. Brought to
I'm
you
on
by the
Sesame
letter
Street.
brought to you by the letter C
Yes.
and A.
Yeah. So I love these guys. And they've only released the three of them. thus far,
Mm.
but I really want that. We talked about. I really want them to do a build a figure of Snuffleupagus because
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Big Bird's got to be like a
Yeah.
mega figure, right? And
Yeah.
then, but they should all come like they should start coming with pieces to build Snuffleupagus, and that would make me very, very happy. I'd be a happy Dana.
I like to think that Big Bird would be the size of that intended giant Krang that NECA showed off a couple years ago,
Yes,
which we
yes,
haven't seen. Which is another. I don't know if they plan on actually releasing that because they showed off that Krang a couple years ago, and there is no word of. There's been no mention of it. People
no,
were looking for it at San Diego this year, but no giant Krang. Last Ronin stuff, more Nickelodeon turtles, but
right. I'm
no
excited about
giant
those
Big Bird,
because I haven't gotten
no
any
giant
of the.
Krang.
So I picked up some of the NECA Ninja Turtle stuff. I got
Mhm.
some of them, and I got the last Ronin stuff because I love that
Mhm.
story.
Yeah,
But the 2012 Nickelodeon line, when they start redoing those and letting them out,
yeah.
I'm gonna be all over those because I think they're fantastic.
You know who got me? And I've been holding off for as long as I possibly could. Mondo debuted their version of Slash.
Yes,
And Mondo, what are you doing? What are you doing to me? I can't not own Slash. I have to own
right.
Slash. It's required. Uh so I don't know if a price has been announced this weekend, but if and when it is, I guess I'm just gonna start saving up
Usually
to
running
get
about 200 and change, right? The Mondo
probably
things. Yeah.
probably.
I did pick something else up and I have to it's a bit of a spoiler.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a bit of a spoiler because a dear friend of mine recently celebrated a birthday. He turned 110.
Sounds about right. I mean, people are living longer these days.
They are. Anyway, Tom, for you, and I have to spoil it because I know you're running about and I don't want you to pick it up. So I did, I did, I did pick you up
Hey!
the belly bomb.
Oh, you found Belly. Thank you so much. He
Yeah,
looks awesome.
he is, and this is the one with the cool purple shirt. I couldn't find the one with the glass eye like you found with the cataracts.
I'm gonna have to mess around because now that I've seen that, I kind
You
of
sent me the picture of it, and it was
yeah,
weird, and I kind
it's
of
very
thought it looked
strange.
really awesome.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to mess around with that to see if the eye in fact can be like rolled up enough so that it's just white. Because if I can get my hands on the normal colored one, the pink version, he
Yeah,
can have his eyeball. But that one, I feel like that one just needs to be blank,
yeah, yeah.
just
So
to
that'll
just to
be
distinguish him from the other ones. But
right.
that is awesome. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm looking
So
forward to having a
I'm
new
horrible at
belly
mailing
bomb.
things, but it'll probably come up with me in a couple of weeks.
That's fine. I have multiple pile of loots with multiple people because I'll see things and I'll get them, and then they'll see things from me and they'll get them. And I'm like, well, at some point we'll see each other, and then when we do, I'll just bring it with me.
Yeah, my brothers and I are the same way. We just exchange boxes of stuff. I guess we should move on to a target before our loyal listeners, our target
I
topic.
I know they're here to talk. They're here to listen to us be disappointed by Best Buy.
Worst buy.
who are who are just a whole bunch of bad guys. I feel like Best Buy is run by a bunch of bad people, and they are some bad dudes, and that leads me into part two of what we were discussing a little bit earlier, which is bad
Yeah.
guys
And I'm glad you're not
versus
in your car this
versus
time.
good guys. Yeah, that was an interesting change. Maybe one that I don't plan on doing a whole lot more of,
Right.
but
Again,
it was
our
interesting.
production value dropping,
I'm gonna
dropping.
I'm gonna go with unique. I'm gonna go with show's character.
We're trying to
We,
go for that like B movie nostalgia, low budget look.
yeah, you get those movies where they do like the guerrilla camera shooting, and
Right.
sometimes it works, and
It's
sometimes
so bad it's good.
yeah. So I imagine that's kind of where we're at right
Right.
now.
So the topic that we discussed was lines that had who makes the coolest toys? Like do the good guys translate best into cool toys or do the bad
Hmm.
guys? And thus far, aside from we talked about Crystar, that the
Hmm.
good guys were cooler. We talked about Silverhawks, who on animation the bad guys were cooler, but didn't
Yeah.
translate well to toys. I
Hmm.
believe we talked about obviously G.I. Joe, the bad guys are much cooler. Sorry for all of our men and women in the armed services, but the
Cobra
terrorist
outdoes you.
organization was
Cobra
cooler.
outdoes, because Cobra doesn't need to adhere to the laws of reality,
Right.
so they can do
Or,
things like infuse planes with the power of snakes, which
oh,
is a
wait.
line that
We
was
don't want,
uttered in the show.
we don't want to talk about that part of the history. Um, so you know what? We were just talking about Ninja Turtles. Let's go there because both sides
100%. Now
had
that's
very cool
yeah.
designs.
See,
So
that's a line where it really is kind of a toss up. It really comes down to your personal preference, because
I
the Ninja
agree. I
Turtles
agree.
themselves, yeah, the Ninja Turtles themselves had, because they were the main selling point of the line. So you get your initial run, and they had the really cool weapons rack. So you had like the throwing stars and the kind of triangular blade, with in
I
addition
like
to
the
their
weapon
main
racks. I
weapons.
mean, I never used them.
Mhm.
I mean, they just kind of got chucked aside, but I
Yeah,
did
aside
like
from their
that they
main
came with them.
weapons. Yeah, and then later on, because they just needed to keep Ninja Turtles in the line, we got our bad guys. You got like your Rat King, who had the really weird but strange roadkill
Yeah,
sash that he came with. But then you later on you got things like the Storage Shell Turtles, and that was a really cool gimmick.
right.
And the sculpts were different. And I remember the I didn't have Donatello. I had the other three, and for whatever reason, I just couldn't find Donatello.
Right, because you got the
And
swimmy one.
yeah, so the swim one was my stand-in for a while, which was another like kind of a cool gimmick toy. Um, but I was like, the legs were straight. He couldn't hold a bow properly. But when the storage shell version came out, he looked like someone had kidnapped him, thrown him into an underground fight ring, and Donnie went feral, because they had like that extra like super
Yeah,
aggressive
I've seen that 100
sculpt on
times.
them. And I, it's a shame. It's a sad thing to see when your Ninja Turtle goes feral.
Yeah,
But that became like my stand-in for Donatello with the rest of the guys. It's just that Donnie was really aggressive all of a sudden. And I was like, well, he's been fighting the Triceratops, so
right.
he's kind of rough. But that was like a really cool thing. The It was almost like the Ninja Turtles, as far as if you're looking just at sculpt quality and cool gimmicks for the toys, from the storage shell to the wacky action to the trash talking with the zip ties, or the
Hmm.
zip cords that had the different thing, the different speech bubble things you could do. They had more opportunity to be cooler than the bad guys. Like, there were cool bad guys that were released, but
Yeah,
we never got like a storage shell slash, which I would love to have seen. But you just got cool bad guys. We got like a Toka and a
right,
Razar, but it was usually a one-off. Except for some lines like the transformation lines, or the mutation lines, where you got like your Shredder and your Bebop and Rocksteady, who transformed into weird things. Like, I think Shredder turns into one of the modules.
right. Yeah,
Meanwhile,
which
the turtles just transformed into a turtle. And I was like, this doesn't seem fair.
it was weird because from the get go, like the bet, like I'm just thinking the initial givings, right? When we got,
Hmm.
and I always found Bebop and Rocksteady to be much cooler than the Turtles,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
But Rocksteady was weird in his sculpt because he had those little legs, you know.
yeah.
But Bebop was a much cooler figure, just in
Yeah,
the
like
figure, yeah.
proportionately, he made more sense, or he was a little bit
Yeah,
more proportionately uniform.
but the initial Shredder figure was just awful.
Man, it was terrible.
He had
The
all
brows
kinds
on the
of,
helmet, the brows on
yeah,
the helmet, just
not to
man.
mention the scoliosis and like he was
It,
just like, what was this? Was he casting a spell? Like, what was happening with that
he was
Shredder?
he was in mid fall. He was trying to catch himself.
Right, he was
I
like leaned back, sipping on gin and juice the whole time. He was, I didn't know what was happening there.
so my crying was so upset. Shredder, why are you always crunk? Don't understand.
That Shredder, the first time I saw him without his tunic on, I I think I laughed for 10 minutes straight. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
it's rough.
What is
It
happening?
was,
He had
it was
what
rough.
looked like too many ribs. I don't know
He had to
what
get a
was
couple
happening.
removed. He was, yeah,
Yeah.
he was on a really restricted diet. But I love that the upcoming, I guess, the Playmates version of their Origins Turtles, uh
Yes.
they heard the screaming. So sometimes screaming does help, because we you saw the updated releases, not the concept sketch versions, the ones that look like the original designs,
Right.
but the articulated versions of the original Ninja Turtle line that had that really gross, like they had a skin disease. I know what they were
Yeah.
going for. I get what they were going for. It just came out bad and it looked
Yeah.
bad. They have announced a I think it's like a six or seven pack of the Ninja Turtles, Splinter, and Shredder. New articulation. They updated
Wow. How much is
articulation.
that going to cost?
Probably, you know what? Playmates is surprisingly good
They
with
do
their
keep their
pricing.
prices down. They really
So
do. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that cost maybe 50, 55,
Mm.
maybe 60 tops. But I do applaud them for keeping their pricing fairly low and affordable in a market where, it's like 25, $30 for a Marvel Legends with no Build-A-Figure piece.
Hmm.
Um, I'll never stop griping about it. But these Ninja Turtles, they saw the backlash and they were like, let's just get rid of that texturing. So that these Ninja Turtles, it's the same sculpts, just clean skin. Uh, I don't. Shredder hasn't been released yet, and Splinter hasn't had a release yet. So those two will be new to that set. But
Right.
I'm looking forward to those. Those should be kind of cool, and I hope they
Yeah.
continue this with other
Yeah.
figures.
That would be, they're going to be cool. And I'm sure you're going to be excited when they finally come out.
But I think as far as yeah, good guys versus bad guys, I swing towards the bad guys because we get both in design, both in like accessories. You get your characters like Anthrax, Chrome Dome, uh, Scale Tail,
Chrome
and
Dome was
those.
cool.
Yeah,
Even though the initial giving was not great
yeah,
compared to
right.
what you saw in the cartoon is
Yeah.
not what you got in plastic.
Well, I think Chrome Dome was one of those weird situations where he appeared in a cartoon towards the end of the run.
Right.
So I do remember looking at Chrome Dome afterwards and wishing that he was like that giant monster. I'm glad that NECA took care of that, and I really wish that Super 7 would have the opportunity to correct that with an ultimate version of Chrome Dome. I don't know if that'll ever happen.
No,
Uh,
I don't know. But then
but
they
but
did.
yeah,
Go
those
ahead.
looked really really cool. And as the waves advanced and we got into just silly things like the dinosaur wave, the
Right.
Ninja Turtles looked really cool, but Tyranno Shredder looked cooler.
Absolutely.
It's
But I
just
will
awesome.
say, we did get some cool, like we got Yosagi Yojimbo,
Yes.
Fandicon, like, and the
Hmm.
frogs. Now, one of them kind of looked goofy, but the one I forget, the one that looks like a Suriname toad with the like was much
Yeah.
more detailed. That had his foot up on the flip flop. Like some of those had really great sculpts. So Ninja
Yeah.
Turtles is one of those that could go either way because some of those good
Yeah.
guys had some really good sculpting as well. Even the first Casey Jones,
Hmm.
he had a very cartoony look with the size of his hands and the way his arms kind of hung. But
Yeah.
those all his giant golf club full of stuff to whack you with, all
Hmm.
like it was all monotone. It was all that weird green color. But
Yeah.
when you looked at it, the details in those pieces of equipment were really well done. Like that Casey Jones figure was a
Yeah.
phenomenal figure.
Yeah. It really is unique in that it's one of those lines where it really does come down to what your
Yeah.
preferences are. But you know what kind of wasn't Toxic Crusaders.
Uh, yeah.
I gotta say, like again, I appreciate all of the sculpting chops that went
Well,
into
that's
those lines.
Playmates. Yeah.
Playmates
Playmates did
was
a
killing
fine
it,
job of that.
but I loved Kill 'Em Off
Yeah.
with the forearms and the cool
And the
face
way they
mask and the.
the way they worked the forearms in, because that's
Mhm.
usually a pain in the butt. Like Marvel
Yeah.
took a long time to get it right. Toy
Mhm.
Biz did. but
Yeah.
they got Killamov right because he had that jacket with the shoulder pads.
Yes.
Like and that
Him
which gave
essentially
him,
wearing a zoot suit really helped.
yeah, and he had that cool black ascot with the pin.
Uh,
But sharp V shape because of the shoulder pads in the
mhm.
suit made
Yeah.
it so easy to get the little to make room between his arms and the little arms. It
Yeah.
was really well thought out. That figure was phenomenally done. And not only that, but he's a hunk of a figure like the Toxic
Yeah.
Crusaders, even more so than the Ninja Turtles, which were really well crafted figures,
Mhm.
were solid hunks of figures.
Yeah, yeah, you got a lot of detailing, you got a lot of accessories, and it really bumped up the playability. It's another one of those Kill 'Em Off is another one of those characters that I really wish Super 7 had been able to get to. Because they
Yeah.
did some of the other Crusaders, and I remember even on the good guy side, I liked the weird dog character. I don't remember his name, but he looked cool, and the sculpt on him was really cool, and it translated well when they updated him for the Ultimates. But man,
Right.
really wish they could have gotten around to a four-armed,
Oh,
large, articulated kill 'em off.
yeah. And that Billy Idol biker skeleton glow in the dark guy.
Oh, that's right. About him. He had the glow in the dark feature, so he won me over.
The
There was never
sculpt
any
of
contest.
the sculpt of that figure is phenomenal. And my younger brother Dale, who's going to be listening, is going to yell at me that I'm brain cramping on names. I've been in the sun all day. My brain is literally fried. Um, uh, my favorite figure in the line, even the
Mhm.
original, he just phenomenal. The
Yeah.
sculpt, well done.
Now, what do you think about? I almost feel like it's unfair. Skeleton Warriors, where like
Yeah,
I think
that
that
is absolutely unfair because the skeletons, and we've talked about them before, so far ahead of their time
yeah,
with the paint on the bones,
yep,
ah, as so phenomenal, and the hair, and even the giving them expression, even though they're
yes,
skulls, so well sculpted. And then the good guys were phoned in, generic looking knight guys, but
yeah. You can't give me someone that looks like Arachne, and then think that I'm going to prefer. I don't remember the name of I don't remember the name of the good guys. I don't. It was like
yeah,
there was Prince
I
something.
bought them just because I needed them to finish the line.
But yeah, like they were just super unique and super weird. And I didn't even care about the main bad guy, Baron, whatever. His minions were cooler looking
Yeah.
than him. He was fairly generic. Um, but yeah, like everyone had, like you said, they had such personality. They all had such distinctive looks to them, and the paint combined with the for the time pretty good articulation. And they
Hmm.
tried a lot of new things with them. That was really impressive. So I felt like with Skeleton Warriors, your bad guys kind of won out on that one.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's a no contest. I mean, that was a Mike Tyson fight. Like,
Well, let's get into some gray area though. Saurozoic warriors. You're
uh,
you're you're very smartly chosen, very like shows you have good taste. Line behind you. I I know that I believe that the story is that the Triceratops is kind of like the main character, uh,
yeah,
and everyone else is kind of trying to hunt him down. So I guess he would technically be the quote unquote good guy for this line.
right.
And I just love that ankylosaur. I'm presuming that he is also part of the Triceratops chase story, but I could be mistaken.
Right.
Also, I am biased because the ankylosaurus is my all-time favorite dinosaur. But I
Right.
do love the design of the Triceratops because he looks really cool.
Yeah, these are your
Mhm.
hero guys.
Well done, good design. Like it's sculpted beautifully. Paint job is really
Yeah.
cool. Love the throwback
S-
to the late 80s, 90s with the colors.
Yeah, absolutely. You put these guys with any one of those old school Playmates
Yep,
lines
it fits
and
right in.
Toxic Crusaders or all of them will fit right in. And this one's the Packy is my favorite of them
Ah, it's
because
so cool.
the
He is
Pachycephalosaurus is my favorite dinosaur. But this is just fantastic.
what made me super excited in the most recent line were those samurai T-Rexes. Oh, I'm sorry,
Yes,
the
yeah,
Raptors.
Velociraptor.
Man, that is so well done.
And this one is in regard to,
It's hard to pick a favorite. That whole wave is
yeah, so this is
awesome.
your, he doesn't have his cool hat on, but this
Ah,
is the Velociraptor you're talking
I
about.
kind of I kind of think he looks better without it.
I like the samurai look, so I like to
Mhm.
have the helmet on. But
Like,
one of the best in regard to paint jobs,
mhm.
texture is the pterodon. His
Man, that is
skin is
so
more
cool.
textured. I don't know
Mhm,
why. I don't know
mhm,
why, and I don't know if it's coming up well on camera, but his skin is textured. It feels like
mhm.
an actual lizard. And
Yeah,
this tattoo
that
artwork,
tattoo is amazing.
just so well done. And I think he's the only one who has it. Like if you look at the Packy, he's got bumps.
Mhm.
Like his skin has a different tone. Like they all have.
Yeah.
You really have to look at these to appreciate the artistry in the sculpting because like
Mhm,
he's got those bumps on his arm.
mhm.
He's got the full on like lizard skin and tattoos. Some of them are smooth. His
Is that weapon he's holding a triple section like nunchuck attached to a mace?
yes.
That's so good. Every new thing I find out about them makes
Yeah,
me want them even more.
and the good thing about not having the hat on him is
Mhm.
that paint, that
Yeah, that's really
blending
cool.
there and the his eye.
See, I would see. Them I would need four of because I need three of those Raptors to just hang around with no hats, and then
Right.
their field commander would have a hat.
Yeah.
And now I need
That's
them in
yeah,
multiple
that's
flavors.
mhm. Every time I put the hat on him, I picture them running across a pond with landmines like in the Rambo movie.
And
Um,
it might be, and and that's another line where like it's kind of a almost kind of a toss up because they're all so cool looking.
yeah, even this guy, the beak and the
Hmm.
pink eyes, which are very Toxic
Yeah.
Crusader,
Hmm.
uh, phenomenal
Yeah.
figures. So with these guys, I don't know, man. It's a toss up, like you said.
Yeah, it's a tough call.
They're just and you look at them and you until you really look at them, they
Mhm.
look silly, just like
Yeah.
the other playmates. Like you can't appreciate Rat King
Hmm.
or Muckman until you really take a look at them or the Toxic
Yeah.
Crusaders. And these guys, it's easy to write them off as something silly, but when you really look at their designs, they're phenomenal.
Hmm. Now, as a Star Wars collector, this will be your cup of tea. Where do you land on that? Good guys and bad guys, Sith or
Oh,
Jedi? Because for me,
bad
again,
guys for
I'm kind of
sure.
biased. Yeah, I lean towards the toys that I collect. So all right, so when I've only been getting my hands on the anything from the Black Series, and
Right.
my 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 requirements are they need to have a lightsaber or a helmet.
A
And
helmet. Yeah.
I'll probably get or be a reptile because I have forgotten his name, the Space Gorn. Because in my head I just keep calling him the Space Gorn. That's not his name.
Bosk. Is he, did you
Yes.
forget? We just discussed him.
I know we just talked about him, but in my head he's always the Space Gorn, which is funny because the Gorn was already in space.
They're
But
already in space. Like all the Gorn are
they're all
space
Gorn
Gorns,
are Space.
except for the Sleesex.
But like those are the ones that
Those
I get. So I
those are
collect like
prehistoric Gorn.
stuff. I've gotten, you know, the it's technically the Mandalorian is a good guy, but all the versions of like I've gotten a bunch of Boba Fett's of like Mandalorian style armored characters. I've gotten because I like the look of them. I have gotten Jedi because they look
Hmm.
really cool. So I've got Ahsoka. I've got uh I don't have Luke. I don't have any of the humanoid, but I have like the blue woman. I have her with the because she has a lightsaber.
Hmm.
But my
Man, we are really
immediate
bad about actually knowing the name of toys today. I don't know why. We're
the
both
blue
just
guy, the orange guy that did that thing,
we're
listen
again,
listen to us
again, I'm
pontificate
sorry,
about
loyal
toys.
listener. Our production quality and our is going down and our senility is going up. We're just
But
talking
if
about broad strokes.
listen, if we I can almost guarantee that if we were listening to another podcast, we would know all these names right off the bat because that's what happens. I watch other podcasts or like other videos about toys, and they talk about whatever, and I'm like, that's not what that is. That's a such and such. And then
Yeah,
I get on our own show, and I'm like, the blue guy, the guy with the
well,
thing with the fingers. That's
that's the charm of us, Tom, is that we're completely unscripted. We have no idea what we're going to be talking about, so this is fun.
no no research. That's ridiculous. But the Star Wars figures that I pick up are guys like Grievous, yeah,
Yeah,
Bosk, and then because I love the designs of
right,
the bad guys. They look super cool, and if they're good guys, it's almost like they just happen to make the cut. But
right.
most of the
You know,
Sith characters I pick up because they look really neat.
I think it's a matter of time when you jump into Star Wars because the original givings, like you had the creature cantina and you had
Hmm.
Darth Vader and all the cool bounty hunters and the
Hmm.
stormtroopers were just stormtroopers, right? But
Yeah.
and then you had Darth Maul. But it wasn't until you started getting into the prequels, which here's something good about the prequels. They gave us a bigger variety of good guys.
Yeah.
Because the Jedi, because up until then, every Jedi we saw was Luke and Ben, right?
Yeah.
And then we had Qui-Gon and Ben, but then we got to see the Jedi Council with all of the other,
Hmm.
they're humanoid, but they're not
Yeah.
human looking Jedi. So, before that, the only cool good guys we had, because Leia was humanoid, Han,
Hmm.
Luke, and then two droids, and
Yeah.
then you had Chewbacca, who was cool,
Hmm.
and Yoda. But that's really all you had in the good guys, because then even in Empire, then we were introduced to Lando and Lobot and all of these. But then
Hmm.
then Jedi came along, and we were introduced to all of these cool monsters that lived with Jabba and all these bounty hunters and so on and so forth. And still,
Yeah.
again, all the good guys, except for the droids and Chewbacca and Yoda, were all human.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until the prequels that we got to see Ahsoka and all the other, and all the addendum TV shows where we got to see all of the other non-human looking good guys. So
Hmm.
it was a long time coming, but yes, but in the whole history of the thing, yeah, hands down, the bad guys were cooler. I mean,
Yeah.
you're sitting at a table with Greedo and Han. Which one of them look cooler as a toy? Greedo for sure, right?
Oh yeah, but he shot first, right? Like, right? He,
Yeah.
clearly he shot first, and he had it coming, didn't he? He just, he just asked for it.
But
All
yeah,
right, so
but history was on the bad guys' side, but the good guys came back hard.
Mhm.
They came back strong.
Yeah, that is true. Opening it up with the, like you said, with the new movies and the animated series and the Clone Wars, seeing different characters and different types of aliens now wielding lightsabers. They got me on board because I got the blue woman with
Right.
the
You give
lightsaber.
anything a lightsaber, like when we were kids playing, because we played
Yep.
with the 4-inch figures. Like when Snake Eyes got his hands on a lightsaber,
Mhm.
it was butt whooping time.
So let's broaden the scope a little bit to comic toys. Specifically, let's do DC first. Um, Again, it's kind
Hands
of a
down,
tough
bad
call.
guys. Really?
Mhm. You think so? I guess I go with the Ninja Turtles idea with this, where when you're getting like the Superpowers line and then the Kenner line, and you get a billion Batmans. Some of them have to be super cool. Like the one with the utility belt or the one that
Right.
had the cool backpack. And I guess just by like the influx of Batmans, you're going to find
Right.
some that are really, really cool versus, you Clayface is really cool. And then you get like your animated Clayface, and then you get that weird Legend of the Dark Knight one where he was really like deformed and he had kind of the crystalline club hand.
Yeah.
Uh, and he did look really cool, but you had more of an opportunity to find a Batman that you liked because he
Right.
looked. Eventually, you're going to find one that looked really cool, but they were only going to make so many clay faces.
Right. They make a lot of cool things, but when you look at the whole horizon of DC good guys and villains, right?
Hmm.
Well, we always say that Batman seems more like a Marvel hero because
Yeah.
he'll beat you within an inch of your life and he's kind
Hmm.
of broody and dark. Whereas most and they tried to change a lot of them that direction because they did DC Dark with
Mhm.
Constantine and Zatanna and all that. But um, for the most part, the DC heroes are very, dun, 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 like
Yeah.
Green Lantern, the Flash, Wonder Woman, depending on
Mhm.
who's writing her, Superman. Like they're very like I'm here and I'm going to save the day, right?
Mhm.
Whereas, and which is they're all caped and bright and this and that, and it's
Yeah.
different than say the Marvel good guys. But the
Mhm.
bad guys compared to Marvel bad guys, like there are some really creepy Marvel bad guys, but like you go to Gotham, and they are straight up like literally lunatics in an asylum, right? Like when you look at Batman's guys,
Mhm.
they are scary.
Yeah,
Like,
when you get
and
into
the
some of the
figures represent that. And sometimes
Mhm.
sometimes the figures aren't good because
Yeah.
they can't capture that, right? So
Mhm.
like a Joker figure, depending on who's working on it, either goes for he's crazy, like clowny, Looney Toony, or
Mhm.
he's crazy, like he's got the face. And the same with the writers.
Yeah.
Like sometimes he cuts off his own face and sews it back on, and
Yeah.
other times he's, poisoning Gotham's water supply, right? So
Mhm.
the Joker swings so far, and that's when you end up with that idiotic story with the three Jokers. But, um, but I digress. Uh, so like Batman's rogue gallery is straight up scary.
Mhm.
And sometimes the figures that capture that are
Yeah.
just so cool.
Yeah, I mean, because if you put like if I have the option of buying again from that Dark Knight line, the Bane from that line, who's not necessarily my favorite Bane because I thought that like the face looked a little weird and I hated the hair coming out, but it was the
The hair
best
was
Bane that
weird
I had seen up to that point
and big. He was
versus
huge.
yeah, and I would rather have gotten a hold of that versus kind of really any Batman that was offered in that line. Even though again, sculpting was great, they really stepped up their game for that line.
Yeah.
Uh, give me
Yeah, but
that Bane.
all the Batmen were weird in that line. The Man Bat
Yeah,
was fantastic. The Joker
yeah.
was stupid because it had
Mhm.
the little Joker in the big.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The suit.
The Penguin was inexplicably like a weird size, but he was
Yeah.
really well sculpted with the jacket made of feathers.
Yes.
It was
Yeah, that
really
was
well done.
and I guess that translates into
And
like
but you're right, all the Batman in that line sucked.
yeah, it was really weird and I did that yeah, I just wasn't on board for any of them. But yeah, like you go if you I do agree when you get to Superman. Um give me Darkseid all day because every version of Darkseid, every figure of Darkseid that I've seen, like I don't think I've seen a bad Darkseid figure. We're just excited
No.
to get one. It just took them a while to get one into the line, and then when they did, you're like, oh yes, Darkseid.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter who, like if I had the option between getting Superman or Darkseid, I'm
Yeah.
keeping Darkseid.
And on the flip side of that, the other side of that super coin is that you have to really work hard for me to be impressed with a Superman figure.
Hmm.
Because you know what to expect, right? Like
Yeah.
it takes a lot for me to go, oh, that's a really good Superman figure,
Hmm.
and to buy it. Like I've got a bunch of Superman figures, but
Yeah.
um, I don't just buy them because once you've got a couple of good ones, you're good.
Yeah, you can kind of use them across the spectrum, but yeah, like you get excited for those bad guys. Like I'm still if tomorrow they said we're giving you whether it be McFarlane or Spin Masters or whomever else, if they say we're giving you a Granny Goodness 4 pack, it's gonna be Granny Goodness and three random female Furies. I'm there.
Yeah,
And if they then turn around and say, we're also going to be offering a Wonder Woman 4 pack where it's Wonder Woman and four of her Amazonian sisters, I don't really care. And it's unfair to say that sight unseen, but I know that no matter how good a
right,
job they do on any of those Amazons, I've been waiting for the female Furies forever, and there's never
right.
been a toy of Granny Goodness. So like that's something that I've been looking for, and you get the right
Yeah,
sculptor on it, and like you can't ask for
yeah.
anything better than that.
And I will take. There are so many. Like I will take a good Brainiac over a good Superman anytime.
Hmm.
Uh, Parasite, Metallo, uh, any one of them are such
Yeah.
great toy
Hmm.
characters. Even the animated series ones, like Superman, right? You had Superman,
Yeah.
and then you had Superman who you could put the thing on and make him Clark Kent, and then that was
Hmm.
it. That was Superman, right? And then
Yeah.
he may have the lead thing for when he had kryptonite, you get him in a lead outfit. But that
Hmm.
Metallo in that line, the animated series line, that Metallo was stood out among the entire line of animated
Yeah.
series as one of the best ones.
Hmm.
And the same with Brainiacs. They were
Hmm.
really cool. The Amazo figures, all
Yeah.
very cool. Like there've been a lot of cool Amazo figures. Again, outnumbering the cool Superman figures.
And I remember, even though my initial impression of the first uh version of Doomsday in the line was way too small, I was really excited. Was more, you had to buy the two pack to get them. I was more excited for the Doomsday in that two pack than I was for the Superman. As
Right.
soon as I got it, Superman almost went in the trash because I just
Right.
wanted
You almost see it
Doomsday.
and you're like, cool, it's Doomsday. Oh man, but I don't want to get another Superman, right?
Yeah, I have one that, like you said, serves the purpose already. Like, this is you made one. All right, you're not going to make him any more Superman than he is Superman. But
Right.
but now I got Doomsday. I will give them all the credit. I will give Mattel all the credit in the world. For getting us that containment suit Doomsday, which even McFarlane hasn't gotten to yet, which is weird to me. He's
Yeah.
done Doomsday, but no containment suit. And I remember that was when they initially offered that. It was they had their Mattel meter, which everybody hated, and the
I
thing
forgot
their
about that.
yeah, their caveat was, if we get to like this amount, we'll get containment suit Doomsday, and then if we get to this amount, we'll get Doomsday Unleashed, and they managed to do both, and that was not. I know that that was not the original plan when they managed to get both
Right.
of them out, and those are still. I still have those in my collection. They're amazing, and if you took the collection of DC figures that I had and said, would you which will you part with? Take all the good guys. Leave me with
Right.
these Doomsdays.
Right. So I guess, I guess if we were to start, tallying up our votes and then, to start winding down the episode, I guess the bad guys have won.
Yeah, because really the same thing applies to Marvel. There's a lot of really cool good guys. Like the Guardians of the
Right.
Galaxy multi-pack is great. There's some really good Spider-Mans out there, but you give me a Venom and I'm set.
Yeah, I think it falls into the category that we just still like our good guys to look like humans
Mhm.
and our bad guys to look like something else,
Yeah.
right? And that, but we if we're going to close out the conversation, we have to talk about the movie and toy line that had this exact conversation and flipped it. Toy soldier or small soldiers.
Oh, 100%. Small Soldiers. Oh, what a great movie. What a
Yeah,
great
because
toy
Chip,
line.
yes, that toy line is one of, now the movie was fun. Like I enjoyed
Hmm.
the movie, right? But
Yeah.
that toy line is phenomenal. The
Hmm.
variety of characters, because they were based on a toy, like they were already toys. So
Yeah.
and they were so well made. If you take that Chip Hazard
Hmm.
figure
Yeah.
and knock a burglar over the head with it, you might as well pin like from your friendly neighborhood Tom on there, because he is out until the police get there. He is out. That Chip Hazard figure, perfectly voiced by Tommy Lee Jones in the movie, by the way.
uh,
Um,
oh, that
Small
was Tommy Lee
soldiers,
Jones. I forgot.
yeah, yeah, and the Archer figure,
Hmm.
the leader of the good guys, who looked more monstrous than, of course, the other guys were. For those loyal listeners, I'm sure everybody knows the movie, but the toys were a military squad led by Chip Hazard and another group of like more monstrous mutant looking animalistic figures. And when they came to life to fight, and when the kids were playing with them, Chip Hazard and the military guys were the good guys. But when
Hmm.
they came to life and really fought, the military guys were the bad guys, and the animalistic looking guys were the good guys. And they were like follow peace, and like they were like hippies. And it's just so well done. If you haven't checked it out or you haven't seen it in 30 years, go check it out. But the toy line was phenomenal. They stood about 7 inches
Yeah, yeah,
And
they were a big toy line for the time.
and they only had the 5 points, right? The 5 points for I can't remember if they had
Yeah,
the
there
knee
was
bends. They were in
yeah,
storage,
there weren't a lot for them. I think they may have, I remember them being a little more advanced than your
but the
average toy line.
sculpting was fantastic. They looked just
Yes.
like the movie and had that great animated look. But I've mentioned before that my younger brother and I, whenever we bought a new figure, we'd test their punchability. Like if you were going to use him to punch another figure, right? You'd straighten the
Mhm,
arm and throw the punch.
mhm.
And there are some figures like that quartz figure from
Yeah.
McFarlane. But Chip Hazard, man, he had a right hook. And our Mumra figure, who was big and imposing, the original one, had a loose head. So,
Oh,
like,
yes.
our
That's
joke was that Mumra had a glass jaw. So if you were able to bob and weave and get in there and get him, if you stuck him, you were going to beat Mumra, but you had to get close enough. And it was funny because everyone would try and get in there. And if you got like, if you were playing Mumra, it was like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. If you had a character with a good right hook and you got in there and spun that head around, Mumra was out. But
you
Chip
knock his
has,
wig off.
yeah, we totally played it too. Like Mumra was the big bad, but he had a glass jaw. If you could hook him, you got him. But Chip Hazard had that perfect man. He had two. He'd give you that 1-2 punch, and he was a solid figure.
I remember being annoyed that this was the
What
movie was so
you?
ahead of it. I know me who gripes about nothing. I remember being annoyed that when that line came out and when like the movie came out, I was really excited and I enjoyed it, except I was kind of annoyed that the animal good guys were big babies, but that was the
Yeah.
whole point of it, that they didn't like fighting, they wanted peace. Uh, but when the toy line came out, I was expecting like a whole line of military dudes, because my thought process was like I understood that there was a certain amount of like AutoCAD that was used to create toys.
Right.
It wasn't all hand sculpt anymore. They were getting help from that. So my I was like, well, this is great because they already have the models for these. Just
Mhm.
crank them out. Just
Right. Because
just make molds, crank
they
them
had
out.
to animate them for the movie. Right.
Yeah, and I was like, so the hard work's already been done. Write down like they're already articulated because they're toys in the movie. So you had to already work out the articulation for them. Send them along. So I
Hmm.
couldn't square. I know that that's not how it works. And models
Right.
for movies are not necessarily AutoCAD models sent off to be made. But in my thought process was, well, the hard work's already been done. Why don't we
Right.
have everybody? This is a line that I would love to see someone else, like one of the newer companies that are out there right now, get a hold of. Super 7, Boss Fight Studios, yeah, someone
I don't know
to
that you could do them any
we
better, other than adding articulation. I don't know that they could be
I
done any
think
better.
I think that would be it. Like getting the scopes out there. I know the action features for the originals were also kind of the selling point, but us as collectors going powered by nostalgia, I don't need that. So you
Hmm.
forego whatever inner levers and mechanics for articulation, and you give us the entire wave of the military bad guys, and then you give us the entire wave of the mutant good guys, fully articulated, able to recreate those iconic scenes from the movies. Uh, I don't even need them to be 7 inch long, like 7 inch. Like it because the name of the thing was small soldiers. I would be
Right.
fine if you shrank them down a little bit, so you could have them like on your desktop, having a little
Hmm.
war while you're doing whatever, and like make them
Yeah.
fiddly. Uh, but yeah, I would be on board for that. That is,
Fiddly. Did you say make them
oh
fiddly?
yeah, make them fiddly.
All right.
Something that you just want to pick up and kind of mess around with. Like this this whole time, like it's been off camera, but I've been messing around with the anarchy here for most of the time that we've been talking. Uh, just something that's
Thanks,
enjoyable.
Tom.
Uh,
Glad you were paying attention to me. I'm hurt.
absolutely. I would look. I would have lost focus without him. He's helping. He's helping out. So all right, I guess that's I think that you're right in on multiple counts where small soldiers is very much kind of an exception to the rule, but overall, kind of the bad guys, your bad guy action figures, the overall look, the design, we kind of lean more towards that because the nature of storytelling is that good is going to triumph over evil in some way, shape, or form.
Well,
But while that's happening, you may as well enjoy some bad guys. You may as well make
that's
the bad
right.
guys as interesting and detailed and crazy as possible. Because in the end,
Right.
they're not going to win. Uh, so I guess it's question time.
Oh
Um,
no.
Last time I asked you what your favorite good guy, bad guy figure was, I guess this time I'll ask,
I'm glad you
is
reminded me
there,
because I forgot totally what you asked me.
yeah, is there a good guy, bad guy figure that has not been made that you would like to see made?
Like if I would have like have a two pack, like the two of them fighting. Mm.
Oh yeah, yeah, let's go with that. That'll
Well,
work.
we still haven't gotten a very good figure. We've gotten plenty of RoboCop lines, and
Hmm.
we've gotten a couple of Ed 209, but we
Hmm.
haven't gotten what's his name from
Kane.
Ro yeah. We haven't gotten
I
a very
I think.
he was an interesting bad guy. I liked that he again, so RoboCop looked so human,
Mhm.
right? Of course, I wanted total prosthesis, lose the hand, but he didn't. He had the
Mhm.
digital face that would just go
Yeah.
raw, like
Mhm.
which I don't know what that was. Um, but and he had the weird like almost spidery arms. Like
Yeah,
why
yeah.
why did they choose to make him? Well, I know why because they didn't want him to have any human at all. He was
Yeah.
inhuman against what was left of
And,
RoboCop's humanity. Like I get
and
the poetry of it,
and
but
everyone loved Max Headroom.
that's
Who
right.
needed that?
But we haven't gotten a good like why hasn't NECA given that
Yeah.
against the
I
RoboCop figures? I would love to see that figure.
I am a little surprised by that. The
It would
I
probably suck, but I'd like to see it.
I think that someone did make
Yeah, the
some
little
version of Kane,
ones.
but yeah, it's little and it's not quite what I wanted. I would like to see NECA do, and I wonder if, like you said, because he had such a weird build to him, he was so, like I say, he was spidery and he had that big upper torso. He was so top heavy. I don't know
Yeah,
if there would be a way to properly convert that into an action figure that could support its own weight.
right.
Um,
Plus, I want an old school hologram.
Oh, that would be so cool. I mean, even if they fudged it, you couldn't get a full hologram in there. If they fudged it with the current uh that crop of lenticular uh posters that have popped up, where
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you can get about three, sometimes four different images on it,
yeah,
and you do that with Kane, where when you turn it, he has the different facial expressions. Oh,
yeah,
that'd be so cool. That
yeah.
would be awesome. Maybe maybe it's also that, like, we can't have an action figure of a robot that actively killed a child, because I forget
Well,
that that happened in that movie.
yeah,
But you know what? Well, he doesn't appear in the animated series, but yeah, RoboCop got himself an animated series, so he didn't really care all that much.
it's true.
So that's what you would be looking for.
That's the one. That's the one.
Who's your good guy in that two pack? Specifically RoboCop, or do you have someone else that you can bring someone in from another? You can cheat this
I
time
could
and bring a
cheat.
good guy in from another line if that's what you're looking for.
Oh, who would I bring in to fight Kane? You answer the question and I'll think about that.
All right. Oh, this is tough.
I
Bad
already know
guy that
Batbot,
has
the Batbot,
Batbot. What was he from?
the Batman robot, the Bat armor that he wears. McFarlane made
Which
a bunch of them.
Mhm.
You got one. You just got one and sent me a picture of it.
I did, but that one's been made.
Right. But a newer, cooler one.
I was going to say just a generic Batbot. So just any old Batbot will do.
Right, right.
Okay, that's acceptable. Like, you're bad at cheating. I just want to
I am
just
bad
want to
at
say
cheating.
you need to get better at your cheating, sir. This isn't going to work out. Um, I think on
I'll think about it some
uh,
more.
we'll try again next week. I think on my end, I'm gonna default to Granny Goodness. We've never
Yeah.
had a toy from Granny. I can't believe it's been this long. We've gone this many years. She's appeared in so many different media. We've never gotten a Granny Goodness toy. For the
No.
love of Pete, somebody, I feel like Bert, somebody give me, Granny Goodness, in an action
King
figure
Bert.
form. What's the matter, Bert? Ernie, won't make Granny Goodness. I need her for my collection. Uh, yeah, I want Granny Goodness for my collection, and I think that would be amazing. And man, so for good guys, I'm gonna reach into the world of Ninja Turtles, and it's another one that I kind of can't believe hasn't happened yet with the 72 license holders to the Ninja Turtles line
Are
from
there only 72?
that's it. That's me lowballing it. But like all these people are making Ninja Turtle merchandise, and I know they all have access to different aspects of it and different parts of it. NECA seems to be on the right path to get us here. I want an action figure of Kirby. There is a concept for a fifth Ninja Turtle before
Yeah.
Slash, before Venus, before any of the other ones that have appeared, where they wanted to homage Kirby, Jack Kirby, and make him a ninja, make a turtle named after him. And it was a lot of it were concept ideas for a movie that they wanted to do. There's all these great concept sketches of this turtle they want to have for the movies that they would because they didn't like Bebop and Rocksteady, which I thought was short-sighted on their part, but I get it. And they wanted their own creation to appear in a film somewhere in some way, shape, or form. So they wanted to bring him in for a rough draft for one movie. There was another movie pitched where they were going to go into like the far future where everything was horrible, and he was going to be the turtle that existed in that particular future. And he had like
Hmm.
tiger stripes, and all kinds of cool looking weapons, the black bandana. Uh, but he just never existed. The closest you see hints of him in the other turtles that we have gotten, but there's been no dedicated action figure just to Kirby. And there's been so many different concept ideas for him. And I would love for yeah, I feel like the natural choice would be NECA because they've already
Right.
done the sketch turtles and they've done concept stuff before. So I would love for them to do, even if it's just one definitive, if the artists go back and they look and they're like, okay, we're gonna refine this down to what our ideal version of him, print it. Or
Mhm.
look, I can't get enough Ninja Turtles. So if they cranked out like a 2 or 3 or 4 pack of the evolution of the Kirby concept, I'd get them. I'd get all of them. So yeah, so
Okay.
give me Granny Goodness versus Kirby. Let's make
Nice.
that happen.
I have an answer for you.
Yes,
I'm going in the Wayback Machine for this one.
cheat, cheat good, cheat well, my friend.
No one, if anybody knows what I'm talking about, please say so, a lot of our listeners. So back in the early to mid 90s, when everybody was printing comic books, right?
Mhm.
Isaac Asimov had ideas that became, and I forget which comic company put it out, but there was one called Mr. Robot. And when the show Mr. Robot came out, I thought I got really excited. I was like, no way, no way. It was nothing. It was nothing that I thought of, but it was this robot that had two heads and
Mhm.
not two heads simultaneously, two heads that could be placed on his
Ah,
body.
okay.
And and one of them was the original like steampunk design head. So like this robot had been being created over a couple of generations, some decades. So one head had it looked like an old school like 1930s strongman. He had like the part of the hair and the mustache, and he
Oh,
was like
that's
a
fantastic.
1940s like boxer kind of guy. And then he had the modern head that had, and so that guy would call people like rapscallions or ruffians, and like, and he was very like old school. And
Mhm.
then the newer head was more technologically advanced and a little more astute
Mhm.
with his fighting styles and things like that.
Mhm.
So they would always like switch heads depending on,
Ah.
but like it was a kid who had to like figure out he would carry the heads and like figure out which one it was a really fun storyline and the origin story of this robot like evolving, but like they really kept that one head, that like kind of steampunk old school you know, 1930s strongman guy. But
Mhm,
it was well drawn. It was pretty
mhm,
funny to read, and it had some good action in it. It kind of had that, like Kid Robot, like, the
mhm,
one had very strong emotions, and the other was like very like, let's go, champ. And it
mhm,
was very fun. I'll have to find those comics. I still have them somewhere and reread them. But at the time was like, I want a Mr. Robot figure. And I was trying to figure out how I could make one. It never
mhm.
worked, but I'm sure
Ah,
Dale remembers me reading those comics. But if
mhm,
anybody else remembers which comic company put them out, it was an independent, but I want to say maybe Dark Horse, but I don't know. But it was cool. There were two comics released that had Asimov's name attached to them. There was that one
mhm.
and one other one that wasn't as good. But I've always wanted a Mr. Robot figure. So if you gave me Kane with 1930s boxer style Mr. Robot with him, I would be all about it. It'd be cool.
I love how much that changes up RoboCop 2 from being insane crazy. It was already insane crazy, right down to their final fight having Warner Brothers Looney Tune sounds during some of the
Yes.
crashes and the bonks and the punches. But Kane randomly being like switching to attack mode and starts putting up his 1950s boxer dukes. Man, I'd be amazing, especially
You
if
ruffian.
by the time we get to RoboCop 3, it would not be a surprise if RoboCop spins around to match him with his own dukes. Like what
Yeah.
has become of this franchise?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to do
That's
some research and send it to you, but it's cool. It was
that's
cool.
a good call out. Fine work. I approve of this. I approve of this answer. And I would like to
Thanks.
see if I approve of the answers of anyone who is listening to this program and enjoying this program. Let us know what you think. If you're enjoying the show, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so that you can get updates when YouTube randomly decides to stop sending you updates about the show. Get a hold of us on Blue Sky. Our handle is Two Guys Talking Toys. That is the number 2, no G after the talking. Also, take a look at our Instagram. It is 2G Talking Toys. So that's Tom, that's Dana. Until next time, take care, everybody.